look at who votes in that particular ward, at that particular polling station. Then we approach them. Where you are told that we are collecting, we want just to see if that particular person has everything. Am I talking to a wrong person, or I'm talking to indeed a real voter? So, Mwansa, I'll tell you that may you please help me see your voter's card and also your NRC. But those are our members. Listen, those are not just the people that we meet in the road. These are our members that we have written, that these are our people. But even when we have our people, we want to be very sure that indeed this one will be voting for us. That is the reason why even ECZ has allowed, if you have you voted in 2021 and you've lost a voter's card, you can go and replace. You can go and replace. Again, that was an issue where they were saying, no, UPND, we are failing people to go and replace their voters' cards, which is against the electoral code of conduct. It is not, until it was cleared. So,
Minister, you mentioned that some of the statements are issued from Lusaka, but if we make reference to one of the monitoring groups, which is the Christian Churches Monitoring Group, CCMG, they were present, and from their statement, they say the observer who was in Lupembashi ward reported that unknown men were seen near Mwendachawe polling station paying community members 20 kwaches each for details from their NRCs and voters' cards. I mean, there's money here also being exchanged here. Don't you think this could also be easily misconstrued?
Yeah, obviously, this is a report that came from a certain organization, isn't it? Mm. And we are not privy ourselves to that information. It's an organization where it came from, we don't know. So, any evidence that suggests that a UPND official was getting or was paying money to somebody, you will not find that evidence. They're just talking from without. The problem is that people would want to be relevant to some extent, want to be relevant. There was nothing like that where people were being given those 20 kwachas. In fact, we are demeaning our own people in Mfue. Those people are farmers. What is 20 kwacha going to do to an individual in Mfue?
These are people that
sure, these are farmers. Some of them have even sold their maize to FRA. How much is a bag of maize? 340. So now, in exchange of a 20 kwacha, can you change someone's mind because of a 20 kwacha and someone with 50, 100 bags home with a 20 kwacha? Guys, let us be very serious with these issues.
This is an organization that has credibility, has got no political interest. The interest is to ensure that there's transparency in the running of these elections. Are you disputing and rubbishing some of these findings that, well, in fact, these people have been on the ground from the time that campaign started, even on the voting day, and they deployed all their agents across all the polling stations on the voting day in Mfue. What are you saying to this report?
Unless once you are telling me that they are the only ones that are credible, us politicians are not credible. Even me, Elvis Nkandu, who was in Mfue, is not credible. So it depends on who you are going to believe. But the fact is, I've given you a practical example. These are people with a lot of maize, sold maize to FRA, 340 kwacha per bag, some of them with more than 100 bags. Can you change someone's mind? You need also to look at this statement. Because of a 20 kwacha, I mean, I don't think so. And I've given you, just a minute, I've told you, is there any evidence that suggests that a UPND official was caught giving 20 kwachas? Do you have that evidence?
Yes. On August 5th,
you can play that evidence if indeed there is that evidence that suggests that a UPND official was caught giving a 20 kwacha.
Now here's the other thing. I mean, it's not only the 20 kwachas. On August 5th, they say
yes. Let's see. No, we are talking about the 20 kwacha first.
And here it was 100 kwacha that was reportedly being given. This was on August 5th. On 26 July, there were community members were asked to form groups of 10, and each of them being given 200 kwachas. So we're looking at different amounts here, so it wasn't just a 20 kwacha.
That's the UPND giving.
That's what this report says.
Any other political party was not giving anything. It's only UPND that was giving 10 kwacha.
This is from the report. From the report, yeah.
Okay, the fact is, there was nothing like that. Get this from me, I was in Mfue, and I think you people have been following how we do our campaigns. we do our campaigns, we go to the people, we write them, because we want to know who is going to vote for us. So for us, even by the time we are voting, we know how many people will vote for us. We know. But obviously there could be some judgmental errors that we can talk about, a certain percentage, but we know that the people that we've talked to, the people that we have really convinced, the people that have said they're going to vote for us, this is the number, because we talk to them. So forget about writing people. Writing people, it could be a strategy where I know that at this polling station, we have 500 voters. How many do I need to get from the 500 voters? Let's say, let me get 300. So I'll be talking to the 300. I'll not be just talking to every Jim and Jack. I'll concentrate on the 300 because I know that if these 300 votes for this party, will be able to win an election. So when you hear that we are writing, definitely from the register, we now write, this is Chireshi. Chireshi, vote for us. Your name. Do you agree that you can write your name so that you are part of this? You are part of this party? Yes. We go to Mwanza. We do that. So on the writing, yes, it's very correct, because we want to know who we are talking to
the
and who can vote for us.
Chimweka, and this is to you, Honorable Minister.
Yes.
The CCMG reports that
CCMG.
Yes, reports that on 5th August, CCMG's observer in Nchikanda ward witnessed UPNU officials distributing cash with individuals with NRCs and voters cards reportedly receiving 100 kwacha each, while those without cards received 20 kwacha. In addition, the Minister of Youth and Sports was present at this campaign activity and was using a government vehicle in contravention of the Electoral Code of Conduct. Did you go with a GRZ vehicle in full way?
You know, and I'm happy that I'm on spotlight, because I'm here to defend myself. In fact, I was in Chikanda ward myself, where we won all the polling stations, and very convincingly so. Now, in the Chikanda ward, when I went to Chikanda ward, I think you've seen my Land Cruiser. That is not a government vehicle. That is my Land Cruiser. So why should someone say that I'm using a government vehicle? It's just because it's a Land Cruiser, so an individual cannot own a Land Cruiser. We have seen our colleagues with Land Cruisers. We have seen our colleagues with Land Rovers. We have not questioned anybody that they are using someone's vehicle. No. We know the Electoral Code of Conduct, how we are supposed to conduct ourselves. We know the Electoral Code itself. We can't use a government vehicles. Now, listen to me. And I'm happy that this issue has come. We witnessed using of government resources in the past. Have you ever seen President Haka in the HMA to any by-election? Have you seen the vice president going to a by-election? Because we understand that when the president moves, definitely you expect a lot of resources to move. When the vice president moves, you expect a lot of resources to move. We have only limited ourselves to ministers. Only. The president does not go to these by-elections. Remember, when we were in, I think, Kawambwa Central, when the former president, may so rest in peace, went to Kawambwa, people were saying, President should come and address the people because the president... And we said, no. All of us can handle such people. The president didn't go there. I went there myself, where he addressed the same rally. I addressed the rally myself with a bigger number compared to what was addressed by President Edgar Lungu. So I even declared that President HH, please don't even burn your neurons by thinking of coming to this by-election. We are here. We follow your vision. So definitely, what you come and explain to the people of Kawambwa is the same thing that we're going to explain to them. So I'm trying to clarify the issue of this government using government resources. If we had wanted, we would have brought President Taka in the Ichirema, would have brought the vice president to this by-election, the way we saw, I think, in the previous regime. But we're not doing that. That means that we have really cut when it comes to expenditure, we have really cut. So when we go to these by-elections ourselves, we use our personal vehicles.
Now,
I think underline that, our personal vehicles.
Making reference to the previous regime, what we also saw under the previous regime was by-elections being won prior to the 2021 general election. And we're seeing this now where the UPND is winning and has won a majority of the by-elections that have taken place. Are you using this as a measure for what could possibly happen in 2026? Are these by-election wins a measure for you as a UPND?
I think we need to correct that. I think it's. I've heard people say that all ruling parties win by-elections.
That's true.
I'll tell you, the PF was losing. They were losing by-elections.
Of course, they lost some. The same way UPND has also lost some, isn't it?
They were losing by-elections. As we have just lost one. Maybe I'll also give you another wide by-election, I think, in Northern Province, when we just started.
But even one in Siavonga. There's one in Siavonga as well.
We have won. No, that one is our person. Don't worry about that one. That one
but it wasn't the UPND who won.
Technically. It was an independent, isn't it? Yeah, that one was our person. We know what happened. So anyway, let's move. PF was losing by-elections. We have lost one by-election. For me, that by-election in Petauke. Maybe the status that we used there was not very well. Maybe let me just maybe manage well that particular by-election, and we have learned lessons. And we cannot afford to do that. Now, listen, these by-elections for us are very, very important, especially that these by-elections are being won in the strongholds of other political parties. Very important. For me, even when we lost Petauke, I think there was a degree of some celebration to us because we had about 1,000 in 2021 voters who voted for us. We lost that by-election with a 12,000 mark. So meaning we have grown as a party in Petauke by 11,000. That's not a joke. But we lost. But even when we lost, there is something that we can talk about very proudly, that we have more members now than we had in 2021. Second, talk about Lumezi. We had about 1,000 plus, or close to 2,000 votes in 2021. Now, we have so many members in Lumezi, which we didn't have. We are gaining. Talk about Mfue. We lost terribly in Mfue. And today we are celebrating that we have managed to add more numbers. Talk about Kawambwa. And you know, some of these by-elections, again, sometimes why we lost them. For instance, Kawambwa, that was a very difficult area to campaign. HH couldn't even be allowed to enter Kawambwa, my friend. Our people, I think you saw what happened there, vehicles being bent. It was very difficult to campaign there. Now, because the UPND now is in office, which has created an enabling environment for every political party to campaign, so now we now sold our manifesto, and the people really bought into our message. That's why you've seen now a lot of people now coming to us. It's not that ruling parties win elections. No. Again, one important thing.
And I don't remember
as some of us, we go there, we eat with them. Maybe it's one important issue, why we win this election. It's not just by chance. We eat with them, we sleep with them, there, in their, but most importantly, the programs that we have rolled out talk about the free education policy, which is being appreciated by everyone, talk about enhanced social cash transfer. That has impacted positively on the lives of the people in the rural areas.
If we're being realistic, if we look at what political history has shown us, generally, if you look at the number of people who have been voting compared to the number of registered voters in those constituencies, there's a gap there. And what political history has shown is that voter apathy tends to favor the ruling party, and that has been a fact. And what also gets to be seen during this particular times, like you're mentioning, you have ministers who go through and campaign, but in a general election, You don't have that luxury because a lot of you as members of parliament will be busy in your individual constituencies, and you do not have the same kind of attention as it has been getting in the by-elections. And that's why we ask again, can this be used as a measure for what could happen in 2026?
Thank you very much, Chiresh. Maybe it's time to correct things today. Number one, let's talk about Mfowe. In 2021, how many voted? About 50%. In fact, less than 50% voted in Mfowe. In a by-election, how many voted? About 45%. When I get into a by-election, first I calculate, because the president has taught us that numbers don't lie. You don't expect 90% turnout in a by-election. You will never. Even in the general election, I've just given you numbers. 50% voted in Mfowe, even less. Now, in Kaputa, I'll give you an example in Kaputa. Less than 50% voted in the general election. There are also factors that can lead to what you may call voter apathy. Number one, people need to understand that for me, a win is just a one vote. And for me, that is important. Just a one vote, as long as we have won, because I know the factors that may lead to people not voting. Not necessarily apathy. One thing is, some of them, they lose their voters' cards. That's number one. Some of them have shifted. Some of them, they may have an NRC but without a voters card, or they may have a voters card but without an NRC. Some of them, the time like where we went to Chundaponde, this time around, you find that a lot of people may have gone fishing. They may not vote. So there are a lot of all these factors that may lead to a voter turnout which is not as expected. But I think that when you talk about Mfowe, it is almost the way they voted in 2021 in a general election. So I think for us, gentlemen, we should not cheat ourselves that when you win a by-election, indeed it's a reflection. I've just told you the numbers that we are gaining from this by-election. These are our people now. They have bought into our message. They have bought into our manifesto and our ideas that indeed this is a government that we need to support. So if people think that the numbers that we are bringing to us is something that they should not be worried about, well and good. At the end of the day, they'll be shocked.
There's only 2 by-elections that the Patriotic Front participated in out of these 8: the Kwacha and the Wacha, on the Copper Belt. One held by the one held by Honorable Lusambo and one held by Honorable Joe Malanje. Thereafter, we saw confusion in the Patriotic Front, and the Patriotic Front have not participated, in these parliamentary by-elections. Do you think if the PF was intact and participated in these elections, especially in their strongholds, your party would have had a chance to win these by-elections?
Another insinuation. Do I think that if they were intact, why are they not intact?
Well, because they say...
Who do you blame for their confusion?
And they blame you as the UPND.
You fueled confusion. You've sponsored the stooge in Robert Chavinga, who is now...
Or now it's Chavinga. It's not Mao Sampa anymore. Because at one point you were saying that we flaunted or we funded the Mao Sampa to create a confusion. Now, you have now gone to Chavinga, that we are now funding Chavinga.
Well, the argument has been that you facilitated, you made it easier for that confusion.
Let me answer your question, yes. Andrew. You said that the PF has only participated in 2 by-elections. Yeah? That is Kwacha. I was in Kwacha myself. And also the other one in Ndola, where Buman Lusambo was, I think.
This is Kabushi.
So there could be another one then, where they participated.
Because Wacha and Kabushi.
Kwacha and Kabushi.
Yes.
Okay, let's maybe talk about those 2. They participated, isn't it?
Well, their candidates didn't participate because...
I'm saying PF participated. It's you who told me that. You said the PF participated. Did they win? The answer is no, they lost. Let's move a little bit. PF has been participating in these by-elections. In case you didn't know.
How?
You should now know.
The Patriotic Front as a party hasn't been participating.
Which political parties have been there?
It's PF.
Which political party is Kapyanga for
My finger.
no, the Mpika Central? It's PF. Which political party is Kampyongo? It's PF. Remember I was in Shwangandu with Kampyongo. Remember that clip?
But the bottom line, they've not been on the ballot.
Wait.
That's
They
the
were
point.
on the ballot in Shwangandu. I'm just trying to bring you to speed. That is not only two, they have participated in all these by-elections. They were in Shwangandu. They lost. I participated in a by-election again in Chimbamilonga constituency in Kashikishi. PF was on the ballot. They lost. They participated in another by-election in Nsama, which is Chimbamilonga, at the center there. There was a by-election at the center in Nsama. PF participated. They lost. They have participated in a lot of by-elections. Now, where their party has not reflected on the ballot, that's what we are saying.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes. There are also those by-elections. But why I mentioned Kampyongo was in Mfue. He was campaigning for who? If indeed they were not part of those that were competing, why did they come in Mfue? It was in Chikanda Ward where I was addressing a meeting. Lubinda came. Lubinda is Patriotic Front. Kapyanga is Patriotic Front. They came to campaign for a certain candidate. So if you tell me that they have not been participating, they have been participating but indirectly. So if indeed those are still popular, they would have used their popularity to make sure that those that they are supporting wins an election.
You don't think
so they have been participating.
You don't think it's a possibility?
So
that
for me,
that through the ballots,
it's in the studios where you say these people may have influence. You know, in Zambia, Zambians, they don't look back. It's something that I want to tell you. Believe me or not, but I should tell the Zambians. All the political parties that have run this country have not come back. This is not US. Talk about Zelensky. They have gone. They cannot even come back. Talk about UNIP. Talk about MMD. So what is so special about PF being retained?
So you don't think that
some of these things.
Mr. Nkandu,
let us just work hard. For us, why we are winning these by-elections, my friend, it's because of the policies that have really impacted positively on the Zambian people. I started. If you can give me that chance, if you can give me that chance, I will explain to Zambian people why we are winning this by-elections.
Before you do that, you don't think that the fact that voters will not see the Patriotic Front on the ballot paper there has an impact on how they vote as well?
So who do you blame?
They blame you.
The Patriotic Front is still. Firstly, are you telling me that the Patriotic Front is registered? Yeah, that's what you are suggesting.
The guy that
help me, so that the people of
is
Zambia may understand. Have we registered the Patriotic Front? Patriotic Front is not registered. Listen. The Patriotic Front is not registered. It's still there. Why are they not competing?
Yeah, part of the
why are they
UPND
not
alliance.
competing?
They're part of the UPND
why are they? The question is why are they not
They've
competing?
endorsed President Hakainde.
If they have done that, well and good. Politics is all about numbers. Me, I'll come to preach to you, Andrew, that please join us. So, in case we have some Patriotic Front members who would want to work with us, definitely
No, but we are
going to be very happy.
Would you really be happy, Honorable Nkandu, that perception is that you've created an even political field?
An even
where you are competing with yourselves. All right? You've knocked out the main opposition political party in the country, which is the Patriotic Front. The PF can no longer participate in any by-election now because, according to them, you fueled the confusion in the PF. Don't you think then you are competing with political parties that have little or no influence because of the fact that you've knocked out the main opposition political
and just
party?
in addition to that, Andrew, because if the other argument that's coming up now is that Mr. Mausampa, who has taken this matter to court, and has had the court get to make its decision on what's really pertaining to the ground with the Patriotic Front. Even in the National Assembly, there have been those arguments where he's been arguing that he should be recognized as leader of the opposition, but this is not happening. This is not going on. And they still say that all this is being facilitated by you as the UPND through this man who has endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema. So back to Andrew's question, don't you feel like you're competing with yourselves?
So, Andrew and Chireshi, do you expect the opposition to sing songs of praise to the UPND? The answer is no. There is nothing on this earth that will do, that will impress our colleagues in the opposition. That you should understand. Even something that is white, they will turn it into black. So, I am on earth, I'm not in Jupiter. I understand that our colleagues, you would never impress them. They will come up with a lot of excuses. These are just excuses. Leave those issues of the courts for the courts. I will not be commenting on the issues of the courts. Some of our colleagues, when they are acquitted, the courts are fair. When some of them have been convicted, then the courts are very unfair. This is how we have lived in this country. So you need to understand that I don't expect songs of praise. The way Satan will never praise God, my friend. That's the same way the opposition, especially those that we had kicked out, that's the way they are behaving. They cannot praise us. So me, I'm comforted by that fact. In fact, in our Bemba language, all of us, Chireshe and Mwansa, you are Bemba speaking. Now, coming to the issue, we are not competing with ourselves. First, in fact, why should the PF allow us to confuse them? Why should they allow us?
Because you have the government machinery.
As we have been in opposition, my friend, we couldn't allow the ruling party to confuse us. Maybe they could also take a leaf from UPND, who was in opposition for 23 years. Listen,
the existence of opposition.
Listen, they could also take a leaf. That's my appeal and a free advice. Which one? If you allow me to confuse you, then obviously you are also part of the problem.
But you have the upper hand. You have an advantage.
You are part of the problem. Don't allow people to confuse you, Mansa. So for me, if these guys are saying that it's us who have brought the confusion into their political party, then they must be very weak. And we need a very strong opposition, those that cannot be confused. But you see, even other political parties, because we are just talking about the Patriotic Front. Other political parties like SP, NCP, have they been saying that we are confusing them?
But realistically speaking,
But why?
They have not been the biggest opposition political party.
Realistically speaking, Honorable Minister, realistically speaking,
this is a very good conversation. I'm enjoying it.
Realistically speaking, does it even make sense that the main opposition political party is supporting the ruling party? Does it make sense?
The main opposition party
is supporting the ruling party. The president of the main opposition political party.
Who is the president of PF?
PF, Robert Chavinga, is supporting the ruling party.
Do you confirm that he's the president?
Well, he's a faction leader.
He's a president because the documents
I'm learning from you.
Okay, who do you recognize? Who do you recognize as the president of the party?
No, it's not about me recognizing. I don't have. I have that. I can't play that role of recognizing any of those that you can parade. That's not my duty first and foremost. My duty is to make sure that we provide very good policies so that our
but
people
in a Zambian democracy, you must at least know the leader of the biggest opposition political party.
No,
you must take interest.
You know,
it's a multi-party
I have
democracy.
a lot of things to do in my political party, which is UPND. I can't start delving into issues of the Patriotic Front, who is their president. That is not my issue. For me, when you bring a candidate that we are competing with this one, yes, Mr. Nkandu will be there. I'll be on guard, trying to make sure that we talk to the voters so that they vote for us. I don't have time to start looking at who is the deputy president of the SP. Surely, as if I don't have some things to do. No. If they have a president, yes, who, they can make statements. I'm president of SP, I'm president of PF. That has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. So, my friend, let's talk about issues that could help. Because the Patriotic Front's confusion will never help the Zambian people in any way. So let's talk about the issues that you started with. If you start asking me why people are voting for us, yes, those are the issues. Not for me to start now telling you that this is the president of this political party. No.
You have voted in Honorable Nkandu, yes, President Hakainde Hichilema in 2021 on the campaign promise of change. In fact, the main campaign promise was fixing the economy, and you came up with the tagline, Bali will fix it. What have you fixed?
A lot. And I'm happy that now we have come now to real issues. My appeal, before I even answer this question, to the opposition, because we're in opposition for so many years, we provide alternative policies to the Patriotic Front. And I want the opposition also to come up with alternative policies, those policies that will really be impactful to Zambian people, to those that we do have now. For me, that is very good. Now, we came on the platform of change, isn't it? Which change? Number one, we said we are going to provide an alternative policy to, for instance, meal allowances. That's an alternative. And an alternative could also be viewed as the opposite of what is really happening. We found that they removed the meal allowances to our students. We said when we come into office, we are going to restore the meal allowances. That's number one, which we have done on the platform of change. This is a change. Number two, we said that the 1.6 million that they are giving to constituencies is very, very little. When we come, we are going to do a $1 million. Remember, that's 2021 campaign promise. Have we done that? The answer is yes. In fact, we have even overdone it, because $1 million is 23 million, but we are giving 36.1 million. So we have even put more resources into the constituencies. A promise fulfilled. Number three, we said that all councils who were going for 15 months, my friend Chileshi, 15 months without being paid. Officers were not being paid for 15 months. All councils in Zambia, we said, when you come into office, that would not be the case. It's an alternative policy. What did we do? Every council is being paid on time. That is another promise fulfilled. Another promise fulfilled. In this country, my friend, in case people have forgotten, the civil servants, they didn't even know the day they were getting paid. It could be on the 40th, it could be on the 50th day. Today, when time comes, if it's 22nd, Chileshi, people are being paid on the 22nd. If it's on the 30th, it's on the 30th. Most importantly, another one, and I'm happy that you've given me time now, because this is a very loaded question, a platform of change. That's what the other one is, remember, because sometimes people say that Zambians forget easily, but I don't agree with them. When you don't remind them, we go to church to be reminded, isn't it? So, as also, the way I'm reminding the people of Zambia what we went through and the measures that have been taken. The most important one, again, is the issue of 55 to 65 years. Today, the young people are complaining, and to make matters worse now, those that were there in offices are the ones that are now standing on top of the mountain saying that the unemployment levels in this country have risen. Are you sure? What did you do? Just one reckless policy could change the trajectory of how you employ people. What did they do? The 55 years revision to 65 years, my friend, this is 10 years. What does this mean? Those that were retiring on 55, and now it was increased to 65, Remember that people are graduating on a daily basis, isn't it, Chirish? Andrew, people are graduating on a daily basis, on a yearly basis. When you increase this 10 years, for instance, if, and I want people of Zambia to get this very, very clearly, if every year people are retiring at 5,000, then you add another 10 years. It will mean that 50,000 graduates will not be employed. Now, these people will be staying in these offices. They will not go away. They are supposed to retire at 55, but you go at 65. So this period, we saw now a rise in the unemployment levels because those who were supposed to retire couldn't retire. They were staying in offices. Number two, again, as that was not enough, this is where we are coming from. We should not forget. They also implemented the issue of contracts. Again, after adding another 10 years to 65. That's why a person who is in the streets today should not entirely blame this government, should blame other people that were there. Again, after 10 years, these young people from colleges, from universities, from other institutions are just now piling up without finding employment. Again, they say, we are going to retain you on contract. How many years? 2 years, 3 years contract. Again, people are still graduating and people are still waiting for employment. Again, as that was not enough, what did they implement again? The employment freeze. You know, we should not be forgetting some of these things. The employment freeze, again after 65 years, these people are still piling up, these young people. Again, they say employment freeze, but I understand them. Why? There was no fiscal space. The economy was not growing. It was growing on a negative. We found it growing at negative 2.8% GDP. So definitely the fiscal space couldn't allow them to employ. What did they do? Is to now implement the what we call employment freeze. Now this employment freeze again, obviously piling up of unemployed young people in society. So these are the issues. Now what did we do? Because now we are saying in our campaign we said we are going to create job opportunities for the young people. We are going to create a credible, I would say, jobs for our people. What did we do? We have done that. Today, I will not, because a lot of you people will think that I'll still start with what we always talk about, that we have employed teachers, we have employed this. Now let me start with first the mining sector. Because some people may say we are only employing in education, we are only employing in the health sector. No. A simple mathematics much want. When President Haka in the Ichilema, who is so visionary, said that there is no way Kaputa can be waiting for central government to provide these yellow machines for our feeder roads. We have bought how many? 7. So let's assume every constituency, as per pronouncement, have bought 7 yellow machines. Who is going to operate those? It's not President Haka in the Ichilema. It's not Nkandu. It's not Youths. You can operate these young people now. So when you multiply 156 constituencies by 7, it will give you 1,000 plus people that have been employed. So it's not only in education. That's number one. Number two, the resuscitation of the mines. I'll give you a practical example. Because after KCM now came back, they are now producing about to a percentage of 3,900% production, which they have now increased to almost. This is almost 4,000%. Why am I saying that? And again, because there is production now, these young people are getting jobs in KCM. How many? Because we should talk about numbers. KCM alone, as I'm talking to you, after they came back, without talking about those that were there, they have employed close to, in fact, more than 2,000 jobs have been created. Some of them were contractors, those that used to work for contracts. They have been employed. These are direct jobs now. We go to Mopane again. I'm talking about the mines. We go to Mopane. Mopane's production has also risen to 67%, which has also culminated into jobs being created. More than 2,500 jobs have been created. Not that those that we found. Between 2,000 to 2,500 jobs, new jobs have been created. on the copper belt. Let's talk about Lubambe. Lubambe, before the relaunch, because you are aware that the president went to Lubambe to relaunch the Lubambe mine. We only had 600 jobs there. Today, after the relaunch, they have employed another 1,000 young people. For me, the largest beneficiary here is the young people. 1,000 have been employed. Kitumba mining in Mumbwa. It was not there before we came in office. Because of our good policies, these people have come to invest. And in Mumbwa now, this mine has employed 2,500. But when it gets to full capacity, this Kitumba, it will employ more than 4,000. Again, we go to 28 shaft, which is now about 70% watering of this 28 shaft. It is also as the capacity to employ 4,000. But they have employed, right now, they have employed not less than 1,000 employees. So we are moving. Kansanshi was almost exiting. FQM was almost exiting because of our good policies. Now the president will be going to again officiate on the expansion of the S3, which also will employ about 2,000. Now this is only in mining. I've given you statistics in what CDF has done to employ close to more than 1,000 those operators yellow machines because of an enabling environment that has been created. Capital Fertilizer has employed 10,000 workers. Capital Fertilizer, these are not teachers. Talk about there's a steel plant here in Lusaka, which has employed about 280 employees. Let's talk about Arumi Energy in Chisamba, which is producing batteries. These are new things. They have employed how many? More than 200 people. Talk about Bayer in the plant that is making seed in Kabwe. It has employed also more than. So these are the platform of change we came in with.
And that's what you're preaching.
That is it. Yes. Now you need to listen very, very carefully. So this is also a promise fulfilled. Talk about the retirees. You and me. We are in Zambia, my friend. People, the retirees, were basking at the Minister of Justice. And who was the Minister of Justice by then? Is given Lubinda. Today is even talking the loudest. Remember that we saw people there being soaked. Inflare Papira Palapen, Minister of Justice. You are in this country, my one. Akasubakare Papira Palapene. Barela Palapene Abantu. Today you go at the Minister of Justice. You will not even find one.
I know you can take 5 hours.
You will not even find one retiree who is looking for a retirement package. Everyone has been paid. We said that when you retire, don't wait until you go to 55, 65 years. You can be given a partial withdrawal of your money, which we have fulfilled. Most importantly, we said that we are going to restructure the debt. Remember, this is what we are saying in 2021.
So now,
have we done that? The answer is yes. Why have we done that? Because we knew when we came in office, the 40% of our treasury was going where? To
debt servicing.
No, wait. 40% was for salaries. 50%, though they were even defaulting, was going where? To debt servicing. We only had the 10%, my friend. Now this time around, after restructuring, now we can breathe.
So many things.
The economy is now growing. And you are aware that we are now growing at how much?
Projected to grow by 6.6% by December.
Now, from negative 2.8, because you need also to come from negative 2.8 to 0. Then from 0 you go where?
To positive.
To positive what? To positive 4%, which is about 6.8%. It's a growth. Now, when you grow your economy, then you'll be able now to save money, which can take care of the vulnerable, which can take care of the old, which can take care of the sick. You can now put money in sport, in social sectors. This is what we are doing.
Yes. You can speak for 2 hours. What haven't you done from what you promised?
Great. A coin has two sides. I will not be here just talking about good things as if there is nothing which is not good. For me, the issue now that we are grappling with, which may also impact negatively on the growth of our economy, is electricity. I live in Zambia, and the people are complaining that we don't have power. But even that, before we even get to there, remember that when we came into office, at one point we even said load shedding is over. Remember that?
Yeah, the president declared that.
Yes, I want to be as honest as I can, because we are honest people. What we found, first, people need to understand that in the previous regime also, we went at one point even at 20 hours without electricity, reduced it to 17 hours. When we came into office, we found only 2 engines at Kariba. Only 2 engines were working. What did we do? We started mobilizing resources. We didn't even Congola. The 3rd one was reinstalled. 4th and the 5th one. That's when we said the load shedding is over. It is just that because of the climate change, you are aware that we experienced a drought in our living memory, which now brought all these gains into question. Hence, we have load shedding. It's because we didn't have water. But again, we're not just sitting idle. I think you've seen efforts. We have seen efforts. Even before I come to efforts, we need to blame ourselves as a country, because it's like we didn't prioritize other sources of energy. We only knew hydro. That's the only thing that we knew in this country, and we didn't invest much in the energy sector. We didn't invest much. Now that we have this problem as a country, you have now seen efforts, frantic efforts that we are putting in now to get things to normal, to normalize. So I think you've seen a lot of 100 megawatts of solar, 50 megawatts of solar, and we are projecting that come December, at least we need to have a minimum of 1,000 megawatts injected into the grid, at least to really reduce on the load shedding that we're experiencing. Remember, even me, I went to China, because we are not just working in silos ourselves. Because I knew that Mwanawasa Stadium and Hero Stadium may also look for energy, isn't it? So I want to tell you, and I'm inviting that on the 21st, that is, I think it's a Thursday or Friday somewhere, we are signing, there is at Hero Stadium, there is what we call signing ceremony over 10 megawatts that will come at Hero Stadium. A 10 megawatts that will come at Mwanawasa Stadium. But we can't use all that as heroes. We only use, when there's a game, only 700 watts, not even a megawatt. So what we are trying to do now is to look at places like Kabwata, not Kabwata, Mandevu, Matero, those Kanyama. The 7, we may say, okay, let us only use 1 megawatt. So what about the 9? Definitely, we are trying now to sort out this issue. This is latest now I'm giving you. That maybe compounds like where Hero Stadium is will be able to benefit from that 10 megawatts. You will be there also. So frantic efforts are being made to make sure that we mitigate some of the...
So the only campaign promise you have not achieved is load shedding. Is there any other else that you haven't achieved?
No, I didn't say that we haven't achieved. We are saying we have issues, because at one point there was no load shedding when we came. We made sure, but because of the climate change.
Do you think the Zambian people are buying into that story, Honourable Minister? Because
yes, but you know,
you're the ones that
leadership always. That's where we have a problem. We should not be cosmetic in whatever we are doing. We need to tell our people the truth. This is where now they tell us at our politician Babu Fee, because there are people that doesn't want to hear the truth. Surely you were in this country, Mwachwan. You saw how devastating the drought was. Surely, even you, because you are also a Zambian.
I was in this country.
I'm talking to a Zambian who may understand what I'm talking about. Twali drought. And we didn't have... Bali Misendere Mwachwan, Dam on TV was part of those who went to Kariba Dam to go
I was in this country,
check.
Honourable Minister, when President Hakainde Hichilema said that the reason for why we're having load shedding under President Edgar Lungu was because of a lack of leadership. He even gave an example of the fact that Dubai doesn't receive any single rainfall, but yet, you know, has power 24/7. So perhaps the reason why we have load shedding is because we lack leaders.
No, we don't like leadership now. Much one, let's appreciate where you can appreciate. There are a lot of things that I've talked about here that we have done correctly. But you know, you and me, you've gone to school. If you are given 10 questions, then you have 8 correct. That's 80%. That's a distinction. That's a distinction. Some of the regimes that have run this country were not even promising all these things that we have fulfilled in the last few years.
What other promise haven't you fulfilled?
Just a minute. I want to talk about leadership. Leadership should always endeavor to tell the people that they are leading the truth. So what President Taka in the HLM is saying is the truth. And the truth, if Malanda shall set you free. So we are very free because what we are telling the Zambian people is the truth. There are people that may not accept what we are saying, quite right. But I believe some of you, especially you people that have gone to Caribbean, and you saw how devastated that drought was. Even other people that we have explained it to have also saw some sense in what we're explaining to them. It's not our making as government. Yes, there are things that we make maybe a bad policy. A bad policy that will have a lot of bad effects. But this one, it's not our making. But even when it's not our making, as I said that, you see by December that through renewable energy, we are going to at least mitigate and also reduce the powers of load shedding.
But it's not
give
the
us
first
this
time.
chance. Give us this chance. You will see that load shedding will be the thing of the past.
So it's not the first time we're having a drought in this country. So why should Zambians believe that it was bad leadership then, but not bad leadership now?
No.
Because we had a drought as well in the past. Why should we believe that it was bad leadership then, but now there's good leadership, but we just have a drought, and that's the reason why?
I've just told you that we found how many engines working. Only 2. That's why we had that load shedding, isn't it? When we repaired the 3 or the 5 we are working, there was no load shedding. At one point we even said there's no load shedding. You were in this country. So obviously, bad leadership, I've just demonstrated how bad leadership can be. Indeed, it was bad leadership. Why? How could you remove meal allowances from the students? How could you declare? How could you declare?
Explaining.
I've explained. How could you declare?
But the explanation was
declare
the explanation from meal allowances, Honourable Minister,
bringing back people.
The government
bringing back people on contracts, and yet you have those that are graduating with the same.
The thinking by government for removal of meal allowances was that we need to expand the horizon, that not only the University of Zambia and the Copperbelt University students must benefit from this subsidy from government.
Okay.
Let us expand it to other universities.
So they expanded it?
They expanded to other universities.
They did?
Yes.
I'm telling you that it was removed. How did they expand it?
They didn't expand the meal allowances. Okay, they expanded the tuition fees, because what they remove, it's a package. There's tuition fees, there's meal allowances,
my friend,
and there's accommodation fee.
My friend,
the only component they removed was the meal allowance.
They are now. If you talk, they said much what. If you talk about expansion,
let's pay school fees for Robert Makasa University. Let's pay school fees for this Mulungushi University.
Also, we had free education. That's what you are implying. We had free education in PF. People are not paying.
At what level?
It is in this government where
this
government where you've seen that expansion, because we are not only giving these meal allowances to the University of Zambia. We have expanded to all the universities now. Isn't it? So there was no expansion. I wanted to qualify the word expansion. There was nothing to expand. They didn't expand on anything. It's us who has expanded now from the tender age, from grade 1. We have expanded it. Also, we have removed even these fees, tuition fees. We are talking about the issues of examination fees. We have removed everything. So that is the expansion you should be talking about. Much one. Let's help the Zambian people to understand, because sometimes even journalists, sometimes they did that, and yet inside what you are telling me is not the true reflection of what was obtaining. So let us be very, very clear on things that that was happening.
Well, I can
think you tell me that
speak
it was a good leadership
I can
when the
confidently
economy
speak
was
on that
growing
issue
at the negative 2.8? Was that good leadership?
I
Sure.
can confidently speak on the issue of the University of Zambia, because at the time that this policy was being implemented, I was part of the people that criticized the policy, but government did give its justification to why they were doing what they were doing. As we conclude the program, Minister, there's so many other campaign promises.
Too soon.
That we've done so many minutes. There's so many other campaign promises that people say you haven't have achieved.
Yeah, for me, I think...
In fact, even Harry Kalaba, according to Harry Kalaba, says you have done nothing. But that is not true. Because you said something.
I'm happy that you are qualifying that there's something that we have done. But I think... will you just give me
yes, I'm going to give you
a minute to comment on what Kalaba said?
Yes, but you comment collectively. There's campaign promises.
Along with the campaign promises.
Yes, there's the campaign promises of fixing the economy through the cost of living. Millennial, right now, Honorable, is at its highest. The 200 kwacha notes, the highest notes, the 200 kwacha notes can't buy a bag of millennial. When you came into office, you found millennial cheaper. Fuel is expensive.
We found it at how much?
Fuel is expensive.
Millennial, just to help the Zambians.
You found it at 150.
Are you sure?
You found it at 150. Was around 75 kwacha.
But Millennium is at its highest regardless.
Yes. No, I'm just trying to qualify his statement.
That's the bottom line.
Fuel, you told the Zambian people.
And meanwhile, people were still waiting for 50 kwacha.
Fuel, you told the Zambian people that the Patriotic Front are still in the 3 kwacha. They were selling fuel, the PF was selling fuel at around 17 kwacha. You said they are stealing from the Zambian people because they've got middlemen. You said when you come into office, you're going to remove middlemen and fuel will be around 13 kwacha. You said when you come into office, the dollar will appreciate, the kwacha will appreciate against the dollar. And also you mentioned to the Zambian people that millennium is going to be sold at 50 kwacha. The 50 kg bag of fertilizer is going to be sold at 250. Where are we with this campaign promises?
Thank you very much. I'll combine with, because there's a lot that you've said, I'll combine with what Kalaba said. I think let me start with him first. Yes, we have been hearing his statements, listening to him saying that there is nothing that we have done. But I think what I've explained, I think the Zambian people are there now to understand that his statement is now void, because there's a lot that we have done according to what I've explained. And I believe that these are things that you also understand and you see them. Some people are just overzealous. Let me begin by saying that. And they overrate themselves. Surely, these are the people that are not even participating in some of the by-elections. They don't have membership there. But if they come today, they will say 2026 is me. Where are you going to get those voters from? In Mfue, they didn't even participate. In a lot of by-elections, they have not participated. They are not even known there. So how are they going to win these elections? Let me just tell you one thing before I come to these important issues you've talked about. How you need to be doing some researches. I know some people always say, when I say that, my research, because I researched on presidents, how presidents gets into office. I always say that we add Kaunda, isn't it? With the A, no, with the A, with the A class T. We add Chiluba, with the A class T. Then we do Manawasa with the A class T. We do
Rupia.
No, Banda. Don't say Rupia.
Oh, you mean
Banda. My name is
okay, last names. Okay.
Banda with the A class T, isn't it? We do Sata with the A class T. And then we do now Lungu with a U class T. You know where we missed it now. All of these were A's, isn't it? Now we came back. People of Zambia realized that I think we made a mistake. That's why they brought in Ichirema with a A, so that we correct things.
Kalaba also ends
with
A.
I'm coming. Wait.
Ends with A. Just
now again, another research is that government, the way government changes. Remember, you changed government in 1991. Again, you changed government in 2011, isn't it?
2001.
No, you didn't change any government in 20.
You mean
parties.
Okay, political parties. Okay,
political parties. 1991, UNIP was kicked out.
Yes.
In 2011, PF was kicked. No, MMD was kicked out. In 2021, PF was kicked out. So,
2031.
So no, I'm talking about 2026. So if some people are saying 2026, There's no one last took much one. There's no one. First, we take Kanyesan up. Maybe start talking about 2031, but looking at the policies that we have put in place, maybe talk about 2041 or 2050 or 2051. That is just my research. So people should not comfort themselves that it is easy to change government in 2026. And also the policies that we've put in place, that we have rolled out.
So based on this, meaning Nkandu can never be president either?
No, me I'm Chishala. Anything, I'm Chishala also. Nkandu may not be president. But God knows, God knows, God knows. Definitely everyone is destined, isn't it? If I can't, I can't. I should not even force. I'm very happy we have President Taka in HM, who is so visionary and he has taught us a lot. Even when I don't become what you want me to become, I think I'll be comfortable, because by the time President HH leaves office, the Zambian people will be celebrating. I know that. I know that. So that's not an issue. Now let's come to the issue of
quickly, really.
the overzealous and also those who overrate themselves.
No,
the problem is that
of
people
the
really overrate. People overrate. I'm coming to that. I said
we're concluding. We don't have much time.
People overrate themselves, and they should sit down now. They should sit down and reflect. It's not easy to become president. The way UPND came into office, it was founded in 1998, isn't it? In 2001, we had members of parliament. So many members of parliament, and we continued having more members of parliament. PF also was founded in 2001, isn't it? 2001, they had one member of parliament in Lupososhi. In Lupososhi, one member of parliament. 2006, they added more numbers, isn't it? That's why it was easy in 2011 to win. Now, when you look at that, those are researchers, my friend. Look at Kalava. Takatap not even one councillor. Bapangira, he formed this organization. Bampoka kumkashana apoka bapanga chimbi. No, not even one councillor. And expect whoever he would just jump from zero councillor to the presidency. Members one councillor. They have not been adding more numbers the way these other political parties that have managed this country have done. So this is a food for thought. I'm not saying that they can't be president. I'm not God, but I think these are the issues that we should be looking at. Let's now get back to
in 1 minute.
Those issues we've talked about. Today again, because I went viral at one point when I said President Taka in the HM didn't promise a 50 kwacha bag of minimum in 2021, and I want to repeat. Play any rally where President HH in 2021, not 2017. You were playing the 2017. In 2016, yes, he said the 50 kwacha. People didn't vote for him. This is not arrogance, and I want to appeal to Zambian people. I will never be arrogant myself, and I've never been one. But I need to state the facts. In 2016, President HH said we are going to reduce minimum to 50 kwacha. People didn't vote for him. They didn't vote for him. And the parameters at that time, I think, were very different. In 2021, I want to challenge every Zambian with that video of 2021 to play it that the HH said, because I was moving with him in the campaigns. I didn't hear President HH in 2021 say 50 kwacha. But obviously, minimum prices are high. I accept. That is why, and the only remedy to that is what we are doing. By putting up interventions like SAF, credit facilities in agriculture, where we don't have now a planting season, people should just work hard. Because I always give an example. When you have 2 t-shirts, one, and you have 100 people that want to buy those 2 t-shirts, definitely, Mwadiako School, there's a lot of demand, isn't it? So the price will go up. But when you have 100 t-shirts with only 2 people looking for those t-shirts, you reduce the price. That's how it works. What do I mean? I mean that if every household, if people in this country can cultivate, can have maize, definitely we are going to reduce so many millions of people that can go and look for mini meal, because everyone will have maize. You harvest. Yeah. When you harvest, just a minute, much when I'm concluding. When you harvest, you sell some, and you also have some for your consumption, because now it will reduce on the people that may demand for maize. So this is what the president is talking about. And it has started working. Just after the drought, we are now getting to the first time in the Zambian history to ukukwata matabaya flake one. And some people are even saying, and I think maybe Minister Fayapo, you wanted to ask me about why do you want to export? Why are we so allergic to exporting? That's how you can now have the foreign exchange, which you talked about of now the dollar will now come down because you have more dollars in the country. So when you have things that much one now, 10, yabita ufalako, ufala fair 8, go and give those two. So what we are saying is that consume in this country, we can export so that we can end that foreign exchange.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for making time to be a part of tonight's edition of Diamond Live.
You're always welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me.
UPND Deputy Spokesperson Honorable Elvis Nkandu, also Minister responsible for youth and sport, joining us on tonight's edition of Diamond Live to discuss the Mfue by-elections where they were accused of vote buying, but also touching on the campaign promises that they did promise prior to the 2021 elections. On behalf of the entire production crew, thank you so much for watching. Good night and see you next week.